Okay, this is Spencer, your Tampa Bay wallpaper installer, coming to you again from sunny Florida, the Tampa Bay area. Now, we're in frame number 3, and we're about to put the compound or the plaster mix, let's call it the mix, on the wall. Remember, this is your substrate. It has an orange peel texture on it. Not only is that bumpy, but it's also ugly because it's not symmetrical. And so the customer doesn't want it penetrating through her beautiful new wallpaper. She says, get rid of it. I want it covered. So we're going through the process called skim coating. Now, there are a couple of ways by which you can go through the skim coat process. I have my method, and it's basically the same with a few variations depending on who's doing it. Now, there are generally 2 ways to apply your mixture. And that will depend on if you have a helper or how loose the mix is. I'm going to show you the mix, and I'm going to show you how to do it. You see this? It's pretty soft, okay? You can tell by what I'm doing. Generally, if you have experience, you can tell if there's any water sitting on top, how loose it is. That's how sharp your eye gets when you're a professional. And so this is one of the ways in which you can spread your compound. You see how generally nothing has fallen yet? Now here's a little trick to keep it on the wall. You use the force of, actually I think it's called centrifugal force. Rather than let it fall, push it toward the wall so that it falls onto the wall. Anyway, it's just a way to keep it off the floor. Now here you go. Don't go too much because that's not how you're going to apply it. That's just how you get it on the wall. Now I want to show you what a professional is going to do. If your professional comes into your home and doesn't do this, tell them to stop and tell them to do this or tell them to get lost. Here you go. You see, first of all, a professional doesn't want to deal with cleaning up, okay? He doesn't want plaster on your sink or on your toilet bowl. When he's done slinging this kind of mud, his arms are hurting, he's sweating, he wants to get out of there, okay? So he's going to cover this or else he doesn't have experience. So he or she, who's ever doing it, is going to cover the fixtures nicely, okay? You see how the toilet's covered? You see how the sink is covered? What does this plaster cost? 15 bucks, 16 bucks a roll? Also the floor. You know what happens when you get compound on the floor? In grout lines? Forget about it. If you don't get it up right away, you'll be scraping it up with a wire brush or a nylon brush, depending. It's got to be covered, okay? Now, plastic is not ideal per se, but here's a little trick. Take a spray bottle, spray it on the tile. Guess what? Your saran wrap, it's going to be like saran wrap sticking to your cold cuts. It's going to stick and it's going to stay there. But if you get it on top of the plastic, you can slip and slide. Generally, you put the plastic down, throw some construction paper down on top of it, you're good to go. All right, let's go. So now that we got through protecting the surface for the customer, now we're going to apply the surface. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm just going to show you the 2 methods by which you can apply your compound to the wall. All right, so we did this already. And if you're a type of sloppy person and you can't do this, skip it. Don't do it like this, okay? I'm not dropping any. I'm not saying that I won't drop any. I will. That's why I have the floor covered. But generally, I'm not going to be dropping this all over the floor, okay? And you got to work quick. Don't be opposed to going back to the mixer and mixing it up again. You can't do what's called retemper the material. You cannot add to the proportions of water powder after it's set. The accelerants are working. There's a time frame now. You got to move once you get this mixed. If you retemper it, you're going to have a surface that looks lumpy because here's what's happened. The chemical process by which this accelerant dries the water out of the surface has a certain amount of time, okay? And so if you were to retemper this by adding water because it got stiff, you're going to see little lumps of dry plaster. Don't do it. Throw it out. Start a new batch. Okay. The second way that I want you to apply your compound is to take something like this. There are scoopers. They cost 10 bucks. I mean, I'm using a plastic one. Flip it after the job. Okay. Because I'm holding the camera and I'm alone, I'm just going to show you. Put it on the wall like that. And that's your second method. You're gonna spread it like that, okay? Essential to this job is the following tool. If you do not have a water bottle, okay? I told this to a pro one time years ago, about 10 years ago. I said, let me show you how I skim coat. So I showed him, right? He goes, what do you mean, His stuff all stiffened up. He had track marks in his plaster. If he had the water bottle, he could have softened it up. But because sometimes tradesmen are so proud that they can't be taught anything. If you have something to teach me, please leave it on the bottom. This is pretty much the only thing I know how to do. Wallpaper, I can woodwork, but I'm not efficient at it. I can't make a living doing it. So you can help me learn things and I can help you learn things, okay? Take a water bottle, and the beauty of this is it only wets the topical surface of it. It doesn't retemper the material. It gives you another minute or two. It's called bringing it back to life, okay? Or making it soft again. You know, if it gets really stiff, when you spray water on it, it's called bringing it back to life. If it's not getting hard yet and it's just on your wall, you're softening it so your arm doesn't start killing you, because it's hard to spread drying plaster. It's easier to spread wet plaster, as you can imagine. So here you go. I'm ready to go. Okay, I'm going to start spreading this. Now, I've shown you on other videos. This is a beautiful tool, worth every penny of it. Okay, I'm just going to show. I'm a lefty. Okay, here you go. Now, look at the surface. Look at here, okay? I'm telling you, if you've never done this before, you can do what I just did. You can do this. Have confidence in yourself. Get your plaster mix going. You can do it. Don't think that you got to hire a professional to do this. You don't have to. Hire the professional if you have the money to do it and you don't want to do it. Or if you can't do it and you have other things going on. But don't think that you can't do this because you can. I learned this when I was 23 years of age because I had to. I couldn't afford to pay a professional to come in and fix every little thing in my house. Got a house when I was 23 years of age. Worked very hard, and here I am now teaching you, sharing with you the fruits of my knowledge and the work that I've done throughout the years. So share with me, leave a comment on the bottom, how you do it better, how you do it, how you've learned to do it, how somebody taught you how to do it. I would love to hear your remarks, and thank you very much for watching. Click on like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot.